Greetings, salutations, and other big words. My name's Ethan. My handle is Wrangler. Welcome to Frequency Studios. It's Monday night, time for the weekly winging again. And here to wing it with us is the panel of co-hosts. Guys, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Doing pretty good.
All right, back with us tonight for a short time, James Craig. James, actually, you were not only in my first interview for Spotlight, but weren't you? I think you were also here on the first weekly wing it, weren't you?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, so you've been around quite a bit. You are pretty much become part of the growth of this channel, and it's great to have you on again, man.
It's funny how you can kind of just insert yourself into channels like that just from showing up. That's how I got into Unreal Press too.
Yeah, it's like, dude, how'd you make it? I showed up. Where were you?
Yeah,
I got through high school.
My God.
Yep.
Also here for a short time tonight, maybe back later, is Herman P. Hunter. What does your thing say tonight this time?
Buy my book.
I love it.
You think it's too subtle?
That's a
no. I'm wondering how you could punch that up a bit more.
I need people to buy my book though.
Now, you got to be careful with Herman's book, though. There's slight racism towards aquatic creatures.
Stupid aquatic creatures.
And that is James Esparza. James, how are you tonight?
I am doing well. Been editing videos all day. Hope to get some book editing in tomorrow, or short story editing in, because I got one coming out on the 7th for my premium subscribers, and on the 15th for everybody else. Get yourself a free copy at worldwithoutend.substack.com.
All right. And Maji, how you been doing this past week?
I've been doing good. How about you?
Been hanging in there, trying to figure out more of this YouTube / Rumble stuff and making a little bit of headway in writing. Raven Nevermore, what have you been up to, man?
Been having a bunch of fun watching all of the chaos going on, and some of the insanity.
Yeah, we'll probably get into a little bit of that later on. But while we're starting off the show, I want to talk some books. I'm going to start off with James. What do you got going on?
Well, today, April 3rd, is the long-awaited, not really, but awaited release date for my 4th novel.
I've been waiting for that one.
And this is available now. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, some third retailer that I don't think anyone is ever going to shop at. This is my shortest novel by far, which is why it's also my cheapest novel. And it's a paranormal suspense type deal. It's like a mashup of The Backrooms, Cube, the 1997 horror film, and some doppelganger monster stuff going on. People get stuck in their office and they realize there's no way out. All the rooms have been rearranged. There's monsters hunting them down, and they have to try and escape.
I've been waiting for this because I've been listening to a lot of creepypasta, and they got a lot of those, except the main difference is this is not going to suck, and I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I hope people enjoy it, of course.
I like your other literature, so, you know.
I don't know
Don't
if you
fail
guys
me.
can hear me, but my screen has completely froze, so I gotta back out and back in.
Okay, we can hear you.
All right, I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
Puppy! Hey, it unfroze. Never mind.
Awesome.
It unfroze for me to see the puppy.
It thawed just in time for us to go say hi to the chat. What's up, chat? Who we got down here tonight?
Okay.
Jonathan Resignol was in first with a hello. James Craig. I think we were already talking to you. All right, we got Readout Productions down here too with Woo, read the magazine.
We might be talking about my magazine or the Anvil mag. It seems to be a multiple magazines.
I actually like both.
Yes, to both. And I think it's great that we're actually seeing branch out from stories to things like magazines. And it's going to really help bring that media back, because, man, do I miss a good magazine.
Yeah. This says, depends if I had enough gasoline, James, to get there. What did I miss? What was that lining up with? Who is he?
Could be either of us. We got the doppelgangers in this room, you know.
We're gonna doppelgangers. Billy Bob Sex says, let's see, changing are the PC term James Craig.
Oh, changeling.
Oh,
Correct.
okay. Changing.
I fail to see how Doppelganger is not PC. I'm pretty sure Changeling is copyrighted.
Is it? All these names, I can't keep up with the time.
Okay, the gasoline thing that was aimed toward Craig. I'm not sure. He was probably answering something you said, but the conversation went on. I'm not sure what it's referring to.
The Craig.
Yeah, I actually had to make up erased so I wouldn't hit the changeling copyright when the Shalar story.
I can see your dog's junk.
Stop looking. That's underaged. Pervert.
They're showing me. They're showing me.
She's censoring with her tail.
She actually
Hey,
is.
doggy.
Okay, that's not helping. I'm looking at the couch.
What a happy pooch.
Yeah. How much stuff that has that dog broken?
I mean, when she was less than a year, she destroyed maybe a couple $100 worth of stuff between
Ooh.
putting holes in T-shirts and eating power cables.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
I had to replace a lot of blinds in my house because she wanted to jump on them and she broke the slats. So she's been an expensive puppy, especially with vet visits for things like eating a wasp and having her entire face swell up.
Wow.
Ooh, that's no fun.
That in the book yet?
She has eaten some of my manga.
Oh.
Oh,
What did your face look like when you found it?
Well, I mean, a volume of manga is only like $10. It was literally one of the cheapest things of mine she destroyed.
Skunks? Been hit by skunks yet?
Actually, no. But she has successfully hunted down and killed rabbits and squirrels and chipmunks in my backyard, which is surprising because I live in a city.
Oh, yep. Actually, in my parents' neighborhood, there's tons and tons of squirrels.
Every single dog I get gets hit by skunks at least 2 or 3 times in their lifetime. And my last time, I nearly frickin' puked. It was so strong.
No.
Oh.
So, anyways, we got distracted because of the dog, which happens more often than it should. One of the reasons I wanted to come on tonight is just to remind people. I announced over on Drink with Crazy. I've brought this up on the live streams. I've told people in Guilded and Discord, but I am planning to do a giveaway of everyone who can get me a picture of their physical copy of this book during release week. Which apparently there are some shipping delays, which might screw this up greatly. But everyone that gets a copy of the book in the first week and can prove that to me, and they're in continental US, I'm going to randomly pick 3 winners and send them copies of. I'm going to send out a copy of Infinite Mighty Glitch, Ship of Fools, and Faceless.
Nice.
Wow. All right. Not
If
bad.
you're willing to give me your address.
I was about to say, are you going to do like a drawing? Exactly how are you going to do that?
Oh yeah, it's going to be randomized from everyone who gets me proof that they bought the book.
Sweet. That sounds fun.
I mean, obviously there's an element of trust in me there, but like,
Oh, you'll know I've got it when I've got it because you'll see it on the shelf behind me.
fair enough.
But,
Why?
but I
You're
won't be entering
disqualified.
that.
You
I already have
my
all the
books.
books. I'm not. I'm going to let somebody else win that. Kirsty Adcock down in the chat. Howdy. Welcome to the stream. She's a friend of mine.
Hey yo, what's happening down in the chat?
She was also one of the beta readers and did some editing on Haley Starbad Kitty.
It's always good to have the beta readers.
Yep.
Let me bring up the stream. I don't got the stream up. I'll see what's happening in chat.
Yeah. Now that I got Rumble and I kind of did something a little bit different with my my arrangement here, so I'm like trying to keep track of everything. But I got I got both the YouTube chat and the Rumble chat over to the side here. The StreamYards
You're
will
watching
only
Rumble?
like it will only let me like when I put someone's post up on the screen, I can only do that from the YouTube side. I don't think I can do that from Rumble. And when I post in the StreamYard chat, it posts it to YouTube, but Rumble I think I have to do separately.
Stupid Rumble.
I think it's more on the StreamYard side that they may not have stuff set up for that yet. Although it may also just be because Rumble isn't set up for that either yet.
Yeah. Okay, I just went over and checked Rumble just to make sure it is indeed streaming over there. This is the first time doing it, so it is. Hello, Rumble. How y'all doing over there tonight?
I hear Rumble's been booming ever since Crowder came back.
Has it?
Not surprised. It's gaining more steam now. I mean, it has been bit by bit for a while, but I mean, I think it's starting to. I think it's getting a spurt right now. How long that'll last remains to be seen.
I have yet to figure out Rumble. I've got all of my YouTube videos get echoed over there, but each one of them has like 1 or 2 views, but somehow they've gotten like 180 something freaking likes. So I don't know how one person can view it and give me like 30 likes a piece.
Yeah, I mean, I know you can hit the like button without actually opening and watching the video, but I see like I got 18 rumbles. I have on one screen it says I have no followers. I go to another, I have 6. I go to another, I go back and it says I have 2. The numbers keep changing. I don't understand.
Yeah, I see the same issue with YouTube at times. Not like where it fluctuates like that. It's not for me, but definitely
Ooh.
sometimes I have more likes than views, which is interesting. And fun fact, I was a Sunday school teacher. Ha ha. Although I'm sure you mean the other guy, but hey, you know.
I think part of it may just be if they can't get an accurate number, then they just randomize it. I'm joking.
That'd be funny.
Well, Anvil is officially over 10K. Awesome. Thank you, Readout.
Nice.
That is wild.
That's
Yeah,
great.
that's-
Yeah. And then,
I knew it was going to take off, but wow.
Yeah. And the Iron Age movement itself, I'm starting to hear like people say Iron Age in places I didn't think I'd hear them say Iron Age. It's like, what, these guys talking Iron Age over here?
Yep.
So you
Yeah,
see it
I'm
blow
hearing
up.
it. I'm hearing it pop up in the comics, like the comics area and a bunch of the Comicscape people.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like adapting to it as well. And I think that was EVS one on, I think Tim Pool's stream, and he mentioned it. And right around that same time, I started seeing more people say Iron Age. So, which is cool. I mean, you know, there's a lot of comic creators out there. It'd be good to have them in the ranks, and they buy sci-fi and fantasy, so that doesn't suck.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think this magazine was actually a fantastic idea. Obviously, a movement needs more than 215 backers or whatever it is. But honestly, if we had gone longer, like even a couple months more without an event release to remind people that this is genuinely a thing, I think a lot of interest would have petered out. So
I agree. And then, of course, with all the shit going on at Disney, that was actually probably the best time. Because, face it, a lot of people don't realize that Disney owns most of the book market as well. Not just comic books, but a lot of the actual publishing and stuff. They have their hands in almost every form of entertainment.
Not
well, that
too
would explain
surprised.
why traditional publishing sucks so much.
Yep.
Definitely. And I think the beautiful thing too is it's not just like the subscribers for this magazine, but it's also basically everybody who purchases a copy of or follows one of us is in sense kind of like contributing to the Iron Age as a whole. And I like that.
Yep. This has actually inspired me to push ahead with a anthology project. I just got to
Yeah.
work with the Unreal Press to like announce it, and I'm going to release it through them because they have their own audience and it won't just become selling to the same people over and over again.
Mhm.
But all you writers out there in the IronAge, stay tuned.
Nice.
I'm going to be the submission editor, and there won't be a deadline. It's going to be when I get 10 stories I think are good. So first come, first served. But I'm going to be I'm going to have high standards.
Right on. That's good. It's good to set standards. That way, various writers can test themselves and push themselves to new heights.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been thinking about putting them. Well, I've mentioned it a number of times. I want to take all my stories over time, flesh them out sometime at the end of the year, make it like a year-long project where I flesh out all my stories, punch them up, make them all good, and then release them all as like a 12-story anthology, roughly 600 characters per story, 600 words per story. I'm thinking of trying to do that, release one every other year, because I am still planning on just, for as long as for the foreseeable future, release one story a month. And every year I'll have 12 stories for another anthology then.
Right on. I'm trying to do that as well. My goal is to every month submit and get accepted a short story to a different anthology, and then after the year is done, round them all up like a victory lap. We got the one over at Story Hack. I just submitted one to a place called Morian Press. The third one is going to Bane's Fantasy Competition, and I'm gonna have to find 9 more.
Mm-hmm. I was actually looking for some interesting information online, and there's a website called the Submission Grinder. That's just a gigantic archive of stuff. I don't know.
Good luck with that.
Uh-huh.
Everything is on that, even defunct portals.
All right.
So
you got to filter it out.
And there's a lot of defunct stuff too. So
yes,
I bet.
There's no cleanup on the Submission Grinder. So you might accidentally submit to something that the editor's in jail or something, and they didn't update. You laugh, but magazine I submitted to last year, the guy was MIA because he was in jail.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
I'm not too surprised. I remember going down a lot of YouTube rabbit holes, and there was like at least one YouTuber dedicated to a very niche group of people going to prison.
Yeah. There's a whole channel on Discord that disappeared on me overnight, and I was like, what in the world happened? And then suddenly it came out that there was a bunch of some oddity going on. I have no idea if it was true or not, but Twitch like completely canceled them.
Completely canceled who?
I don't remember who it was. It was some Twitch streamer.
I mean, people get even big streamers get yeeted off of Twitch surprisingly regularly.
Yeah, well, their Discord server evaporated too.
Don't trust Discord. Oh, fun bit of gossip. Apparently, there is a somewhat serious plan by the controlling company for HoloLive to make their own streaming platform to compete with YouTube and Twitch because they're tired of dancing around Western terms of service. Y'all know
What company is this?
what HoloLive?
It's one of the VTubers. That's about all I know
it's
about
by
them.
far the biggest. They bring in like $100 million annually from super chats.
Wow.
Whoa.
The problem is, like, look what's happening to TikTok right now. They claim it's for security reasons, but we all know it's so they can enact a Patriot Act 2.0.
We don't
Yeah,
all know that. The media disagrees. Therefore, 99% of Americans don't know that.
Well, my rule of thumb still is if they say it on the news, I assume the opposite to be true.
I mean,
problem
Google
is-
is seeing this as a chance to take out their TikTok competition, but
Yeah.
there's
I mean,
more to it than that.
Yeah, TikTok is a problem, but when they come in and say we'll solve this by doing this, it's like, hold on, this is power you did not have before, and we've seen what you do in the past when you get new power. You like to keep using it, so I would not be sad to see TikTok go, but I worry
Wrangler.
about government regulations going out of control because they always do.
Hold on. We have a great example of the Prohibition Police Unit that was implemented to deal with prohibition back in the 30s or whatever. And they totally got defunded and are not to this day staging insurrections under the name FBI. Like, come on.
Good point.
Stream going down in 5, 4.
Let's talk about Q.
Oh boy.
Actually, I shouldn't have said that. That might get us booted.
Actually, yes, that the Twitter files just dropped. That's
Isn't that a
controlled word.
Oh, too bad for all those Bond.
But I'm a Star Trek fan, and John Delancey's an awesome actor.
As long as you don't follow it with the truncation of anonymous.
The shaman got out early. Well, they're saying early, but there's some question as to whether it was actually his lawyer or not. Because I think his lawyer is no longer working for him. It sounds like he did some special things while he was serving time that would get him a reduced sentence. But in order to accept that reduced sentence, he had to go into the halfway home.
All right.
Redoubt over on Rumble said, Restrict Act make hardly any mention of a particular agency. It is so vague.
Yeah, and my biggest problem with it is the VPN thing, because I ended up tweeting at a couple of let's see, I think a lot of them were house reps, not necessarily mine, but various different ones. And I said, please have your people look into this, because this supposedly also restricts VPN usage, and my work requires me to use a VPN.
Billy Bobsack, how did Q make a mistake at the end of The Next Generation?
By letting Picard live.
I say the writers made a mistake at the end of Picard season 2, but or from the beginning of season 1 to the end of season 2.
Picard season 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
In fact, we just got rid of Picard season 1 and season 2. Picard, it's Star Trek Picard would be probably pretty good. I don't know.
You
Yeah.
guys just got to embrace anime, and you'll stop being upset with your shows.
I don't.
No, you
Is there a
find
Star
all
Trek
new
anime?
obsession.
Suddenly, everyone is talking at the same time. The most controversial opinion.
I don't.
said, okay. We'll start.
What was that? No, I don't even watch TV and stuff anymore. The only time I watch TV is when I have to sit with the dog because he's lonely.
Your dog watches TV?
No, I watch TV while the dog sits there and ignores me. But the minute I walk away, he comes and starts bothering me. So
Yeah. I mean, I like anime to an extent, but man, those freaking fillers can get insane sometimes. I remember watching Dragon Ball Z. One
Dude,
entire
you're
fight
complaining
was
about
a
something
season
from
long.
20 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Move
but
on.
then I also
There
watched
is not
Bleach.
filler anymore.
I also watched Delete.
The new season of Bleach had no filler.
I'm not going to
There
watch
has
the
not been
new season
filler.
of Bleach. I got through the first 10 seasons, and as soon as it was over, it was like, thank God. I never want to watch Bleach again. Everybody had special powers at the end of that show.
I watched a bunch of Bleach, and then I got lost on what the last episode was that I watched. And by the time I got back to it, I saw how many more episodes there were, and I was just like, okay, I give up.
I remember when I first started checking out anime, I saw the movie Akira,
That's
and
a
then
nice
I went
one.
and watched what was it, Castle of Cagliostro, with Lupin the Third and the Wolf.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I'm gonna just go pick something at random, something
Bad
new.
call.
Let's see what else I can find that I've never seen before. And I'm just looking around, and I grabbed a random. There were tapes at the time off the shelf at the video store. It was called Yorotsuka Doji. I'm like, what's this? I don't know. I went home, popped it in. Holy crap! I was not prepared. That was some weird, shape shifting, very adult oriented stuff going on right off the rip. I'm like, what?
Oh, goodness.
Because
Yeah,
up till that point, I hadn't seen anything, graphic like that. The closest I got was Akira.
Yeah, there's lots of different genres in anime, just like there are in live action.
Yeah.
Yeah, but up till that point, I didn't know that things would go that far into it. And
Check out some
so I
Japanese
was just
horror.
not, I was not prepared.
I remember there's this, if I'm correct, there's this entire genre of Japanese horror that is just over the top gore to almost silly, ridiculous levels,
Yeah.
where every human being is just a gigantic blood explosion as soon as you poke them.
Now, that reminds me of a time I was watching Akira on network TV. This is back during the time a Burger King commercial was running, and would just start off with a black background and the words, "Aren't you hungry?" And there's just no sound. But we were watching Akira, and there's this part where the building started collapsing, and a big piece of the column fell on a guy, blood spattered everywhere, and it cut to commercial, and it goes, "Aren't you hungry?" I'm like,
Not after that.
no. Got any
Yeah,
ketchup?
I am kind of peckish.
I mean, I just want to say that I don't think it is a good complaint about anime to say you watched something with no idea what it was and you didn't like it. It's like saying, oh, I flipped to a random channel at midnight and I got stuck watching an infomercial. I hate cable TV. And
True.
filler has been gone for over a decade. Repeating that, like no show has filler anymore. They're actually too short nowadays.
All right, guys. Well, I got a bump. Maybe I'll be back on when I'm done doing what I need to do. So, talk to you guys later.
Yeah, I should probably
Yeah,
drop
well,
off as well, but I don't
I
want to
actually
drop
have a
off by
theory.
complaining.
I have a theory that you're gonna like, James.
That was Herman.
other
Buy my book,
James.
Hunter. Link in the description below to his book, so you can buy
I have
it.
a theory that because I know the way they treat artists overseas in Japan is completely different than they do here, where art over here is more so a commodity and strictly treated as such, and strangleholded as such. I believe the Iron Age is actually going to help promote more creations like that from the West by finally releasing the boldest of the artists from the shackles of these industries and give them a much more healthier environment to prosper and explore these ideas, particularly in the age of crowdfunding.
So you're probably correct, and I already know one guy who is surprisingly good at art, but he's like fixated on Nazi iconography. And he's not he is not so jaw-droppingly good at art that you go, oh, he clearly knows what he's doing. He's just in revolt against censorship and is so if you completely just switch to crowdfunding, unleash the chains, you're going to get people doing extremely edgy things before they have the overwhelming skill to warrant it. So,
and I can't wait. That sounds amazingly great. I don't know what you're complaining about. We get to see the entire sword forge into something magnificent and get some cringe along the way. And technically that might already be happening in the form of something I mentioned earlier, like creepypastas and shit like that.
It's not necessarily that, but you don't want, I hate to say it, really low, you don't want low quality stuff out when you're trying to create this movement because it'll turn people off. Looks what's going on with Disney.
Yeah, that's true. Have a good night, Christy.
That's you don't want to have a barrier either. You want to have your cake and eat it too, which is why I'm trying to get this anthology launched so I can start taking in submissions because no one should be the arbiter of this is IronAge or this is
Yeah.
not IronAge. But at the same time, people coming in need to have some kind of direction and assurance that if they pick up Star Shatter, they want to know they're not being lied to when people say that's a good book.
Mhm.
And if you have a bunch of reviewers that say, yeah, Star Shatter is great, and I haven't read it, let's say it is great, it probably is, I don't know. And then they take the next recommendation and it's for Joe Schmo, the White Knight adventures of, committing federal crimes against HR or something, and it's bad. All of a sudden, they're not going to trust that reviewer anymore. Know what I mean?
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the beautiful part about this, I think, is the decentralization of it all, because it's not really a quote unquote industry as much as just a bunch of people giving it all they got, hopefully. And the good is going to I think the good's just going to float to the top, and there will be obvious issues like that, but I think the good is like this decentralization of it, and just people's natural ability to want to consume something good. And these doors being open are it's just going to prove much more positive than negative, I believe, in the short and the long run.
Well, here's just an example of how things could go wrong. If IronAge Media starts selling the short story positions in the magazine instead of awarding them, no one's going to buy the magazine if he does that.
Mm-hmm.
If it's pay to play to get in, and he's still charging like $30 for the magazine,
Yeah.
people are going to say this is just a giant grift. Now, for
And
those
that
listening,
kind of
he
feeds
didn't do
into-
that. I'm just
Yeah.
making up an example, but
But
Absolutely.
that kind of goes along with something I brought up either last week or the week before, is how, as we grow, do we keep from becoming that which we're bucking against right now?
I think we're gonna have different issues. Like, how about Rob Rhymes's Wednesday Pimp Your Projects thread? There's like 100 people that drop their projects. How do you tell them apart? How do you sort through that? How do you take the time to sort through 100 random people every week?
Wow. Yeah.
Well, that comes down to marketing right there, because people are going to just have to find the app. And that's another thing that people are going to unfortunately have to conquer. And truthfully, I think all of us here are a bit of trailblazers, making way for people to come in 2-3 years time that may read some of our stuff or hear this IronAge thing, and we'll be there to kind of give them the tips. So it's good that we're discussing all this, and each and every single one of us should go about our own way, trying to find out how we individually are going to do that, and then spread the information or something, whatever we think proper. Because it's like, much like Billy Bob said, it's about the decentralization. And I think that's going to be our strong suit beyond any and all things.
Sure.
Yeah, we need some form of almost like an interdependence, not codependent, but not completely independent either. It's like we could all stand interdependent, where we could all stand on our own, do our own thing, but are able to work together, help each other out.
Yeah, promote each other's stuff.
So
Yeah. And
I wanted to bring that up because I think I have one solution, but there's 100 IronAge authors at this point, going by Twitter trends. That should mean that we have 99 other solutions, and some people's solutions will work out better, and success will breed success.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, lean off of each other. Success will breed success. I try to promote other people's stuff that I believe are good. I would even say, to a small degree, read each other's stuff. And then if something actually does impress you, now you got something that you could probably share with somebody else. Even if it is just a bit here or a bit there,
Sorry, we've been cutting off Raven Nevermore this whole time.
Have we?
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, he's
Raven.
been muted on my screen, but my screen's kind of freezing.
oh, well, I was just gonna say I've kind of been seeing a similar thing with the media stuff, and like we've had legacy media for a long time telling us weird stuff and ignoring major issues. And then we have smaller independent news people coming up with stuff and everything. And then there's the one instance of the one particular one who decided to turn his chat into paid chat only. And somebody else stepped in and said, I'm going to meme this and see how this goes. And he's been running ever since. And he's picked up quite a large number of followers. The biggest problem, though, is he does that late. But then you also have other people that like Sav says, she's running around. She's kind of been that independent reporter that people hear in the background or on the various different stories. Like she went to the Ohio train wreck. What else was it that I heard her on? Darn, there was something else here recently that I also heard her. Like I just heard her voice, screaming in the background. They didn't. I don't know that they necessarily said it was her, but I can tell. Oh, that's her. That's her reporting on some important event that's going on. Oh, all the people at Trump Tower. That's what it was.
All right, well, I'm going to evacuate this call before we get on the Trump discussion.
What made you think it was going that way?
Keywords.
I kind of was hoping it wouldn't go that way.
Oh, come on.
That's how I do need to get back to writing. I will be following Herman's
I do have
example.
one question for you, James, before you
Sure.
go, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know Infinite Money Glitch is about like the ultimate heist.
Yep.
This new one is this horror sci-fi can't escape your work. Where do you come up with the ideas and inspirations for those? Like they are complete opposite like areas.
If you read broadly, you will have a broad variety of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5 to 4, like I mentioned, it takes inspiration from the Backrooms, from the movie Cube. Takes some inspiration from the survival game genre, although I didn't get as much use out of survival games as I would have liked. I'm probably going to do another story in this idea and redo it with a more game-like setup, just because that'd be fun. I want to do a werewolf game.
Ooh, that would be cool.
But I don't really stick to one genre when I read manga or when I read books. Just as an example, I'm currently reading Gaunt's Ghost, 40K sci-fi action stuff, because I'm getting into 40K with my friends. My next book that I'm reading is not a book; it's a play. I'm reading Faust by Goethe. A 300-year-old German play, because it's very well renowned as part of the canon. And after that, I'm going into nonfiction. This book, Wonderworks, which is a breakdown on the various innovations and technological progressions of the written form, allegedly. And I don't know what this will teach me. Maybe nothing. Maybe it'll give me a good idea. But like Infinite Money Glitch, that's because I watched the news. It's based on the GameStop short squeeze. And the fact that I'm still angry that I guessed the sale point wrong by $5. I was 1% off and lost all my money.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got one last question before you bail. When this whole thing is said and done with Disney, have you been taking notes to write the Disney scandal?
I don't think there's a good narrative to Disney.
I was just giving you a hard time.
Well,
If you combine it with a theme park mystery.
It's actually very overdone because there used to be a lot of theme parks before Disney World became the only one. And that's actually a well explored genre of a failing theme park with a bad past of mismanagement and passion gone wrong.
There's like 2 abandoned ones right here in the Northwest. So yeah.
I went down a YouTube rabbit hole for like a week exploring all these.
Yep,
closed
there are some
parks,
spooky
reason
urban
why.
explorer stuff.
Yeah, There's a good stuff out there.
I think the best abandoned theme park show I've ever seen was when Cartman bought the theme park in South Park.
But yeah, so I kind of just take I actually take like the South Park strategy. You combine 3 different ideas and then just hammer them together until they're one story, and you'll have something quite unique. Ship of Fools, my second book, I stole Master Chief from Halo and gave him a philosophical problem of mixed with mutiny and Lord of the Flies.
Oh, nice.
I almost can't tell you what the plot structure is, or how, I didn't know whether to label that military, sci-fi, horror, political drama, or what, because it was
Yes.
kind of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you mix ideas, you'll end up with something unique, but you may not realize what you're mixing until you're done.
Sorry, I didn't mean to have my mic drop moment over top you talking.
Like, for example, Shadow of the Conqueror is Sky Pirates meets Minecraft.
Yeah.
It really is too.
Usually what I do is I just take very niche stories from the Bible and like 100% copy that.
Readout
Well-
Productions, it should give you Backrooms vibes. That was one of the inspirations. It's just that they're in their own office and they can't find the door out because all the rooms are scrambled.
That sounds terribly terrible.
That's where
Especially
the
when
title
you're
comes
just
from.
about to get off work.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
that
clocks
wise,
all stop
yeah.
at 5 minutes to 4, and 4 is when they were supposed to go home.
That's terrible.
And then you
Stuck
get
in an
Dante from
office.
Clerks popping up in the middle of it going, I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
I like the fact that 4 is the Japanese number of death.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I'm going to guess you did, James.
It was pointed out to me when I was debating between this and the subtitle Suspension Space.
Uh-huh.
If you watch a lot of Japanese horror shows, animes, movies, things will repeat itself 4 times. That's like our number 13 to them.
Hmm.
So even
Awesome.
some people who are really superstitious will even skip leveling number 4 in like an elevator and stuff.
Does anybody know the significance to the number 13?
Our culture? I'm not sure.
I think
How
it
many
had-
full moons in the year?
Is that where it came from?
I believe so.
Well, I do believe it has something to do with some of the power numbers, but what specifically, I don't know because I'm aware of the power numbers. I don't know what they are.
Well, in Japan, they associate 4 with death is because of how they pronounce it. Some of the pronunciation will actually literally translate to death depending on the region.
All right, well, on a completely different genre, I gotta go write epic fantasy in a desert.
All right, sorry about that.
Nice.
Sorry, James. Thanks for.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
Have a good night.
The link is in both the chat and the description.
Yes. Good stuff, that one. Yeah, go pick yourself up a coffee, everybody. You got $10.
I think I scared him away.
And then if you have just another 5, might want to take a peek over there.
Oh yeah, well, $5 gets you a lot. Get yourself a magazine and a short story a month for $5 over at worldwithoutendlore.substack.com.
Unfortunately,
recent.
the way my pay period's set up, I can't do any subscription-based stuff. It's the same reason why I can't do automatic payments.
Ah, Walmart, huh?
Yeah.
Everything sucks at Walmart. But yeah,
Except the
if you're-
price. Oh no, wait, they do now too.
Yeah. But hey, you can pick one up for free because it releases for free on the 1st and get yourself an early copy. I believe it's the 21st. I get my dates mixed up. It's written down on the about section there. But hey, working hard over here, and every copy is going to be very unique. Our next issue is going to be more on the darker side of the universe, so that's going to be fun.
Well, yeah, because almost everything I think that I've read from you anyway took place in the Lands of Light. Now
Yeah.
there's one I think Vampire Ballistia. I have that queued up to read. I just haven't read it yet. That
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna guess that might take place in the Abyss.
Well, you'll see.
Oh wait, that could be in Whitlow though.
Yeah, maybe. See, that's also the thing. The beautiful thing about World Without End, everything is from the exact same universe. I upload daily YouTube shorts, and believe it or not, you know so much about a lot of characters you're going to be introduced to. And if you like certain characters from books, or my short stories, I purposely release their biographies early to people without even telling them, so that way you're like, oh, I want to know more about this person.
Like people like the Kid or Slim.
Oh yeah, a lot of them. You're one of my daily watchers. That's always awesome. I have a few of you guys out there. Shout out to the daily watchers. You can follow me at World Without End Lore on YouTube. Get your daily dose there.
Now, I'm pretty sure it's crossed your mind. In fact, I think you've mentioned it before. But do you have a point where you're going, okay, I can start doing physical copies of the magazine? Do you have like a set point where you're like, if I reach this, I can start doing that?
Possibly. I think I'd have to be seeing a decent income, maybe like I'd say probably like $100 a month to be able to cover that. But then I currently do have monthly expenses close to $100 already per month to keep everything going. So it's that one still in the air for now. But hey, keep on subscribing, guys. Get your premium early access stuff there, and then get enough of you signed up. You'll be getting a physical copy at your doorstep.
That I'm looking forward to. Do you think if it takes off fast enough, do you think you might do physical copies of past issues, do a run on them, or
I
that's
was
the whole
thinking, yes, possibly, because they're very short. They're
Nice.
like 20 pages each, which I guess isn't too short. But what I was thinking about doing is like one bulk fat physical copy with all the previous issues, with a possible option to get separate issues. Because sometimes people just want them separated like that. So yeah, there's a lot I definitely want to do, and every month I'm trying to expand it slowly at my own pace without overdoing myself, because so much stuff passes through my mind of what I can do. Because you watch my daily shorts, I upload them, and I make all the background music myself, and I got enough like various musical beats, loops, and my MIDI collection's pretty big. I could literally start making soundtracks for the separate characters, but that would just
That's
take
awesome.
way too much time. But I was thinking maybe I might do it per story and make like a soundtrack for the story to be released alongside.
Well, you started like doing different sound themes for different areas on your shorts. So
I got 3 of
but
them.
yeah, that's true. You got so many characters, you're gonna have to really pick and choose which ones get a theme song.
Yes. I might have to make it faction based. That's what I'm probably aiming towards, faction. But enough about me. What are the rest of you guys up to?
Oh, I've been Shalarin hard.
Shalarin. What's the update on that look like?
I'm 9 pages in and still in the beginning half.
Really?
This isn't going to be a short story by the time I'm done.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be more of a novella.
Probably, or a mini one.
I'm trying to restrict myself from doing that same thing, because I'm going, okay, wait, if this person's that, what, and I'm going, how much detail do I need to pack into a short story? Do I need to flesh out every little aspect of the world? But some things just you need context, and I'm going, how do I cram it all in there without just big exhibition drops? The short story is a little more challenging, believe it or not, than a novel.
I actually prefer short stories, but I'm also an amateur writer. Like the whole IronAge media, I wasn't intending for it to continue on and submitting short stories. I was just putting it in till it gained in popularity. and then let some of the greater writers take over. So this thing turning into what it is just like, damn.
Yeah, well, as I told you before, Bad Kitty, I thought that would be a short story novella at best, and it just kind of filled itself out as I was going. It was, and then I'm trying to do that second one. I'm like, it has to be at least as good. If it's not at least as good, I'm not going to be happy with it. It ain't coming out, So, and it has to come out, so it better be good.
Well, it started off with, okay, I had to get up a backstory, and then it's like, all right, now I got to develop all these creatures. Shoot, this one is particular copyrighted, so I got to make up my own race. And the next thing I know, it's just like, oh damn.
I looked up when I looked up orcs, and when I say looked up, really I just hit the button on my phone and asked Google if orcs were public domain, and it said no, it's owned by Tolkien. I don't know how accurate that is because I see orcs popping up in all sorts of different stuff, but I was like, orcs are not public domain? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that's actually why I like Changeling and Shapeshifters. They're not public domain either.
Shapeshifter is not public domain? That's a colloquialism, I thought.
Okay, so depending on the type of shape, it was really complicated. Hold on, let me show you the exact. Let me.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, did I write shapeshifter anywhere in my? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. On my exploration of the very shitty horror stories of YouTube, I've ran into Wendigos and Flesh Gates and a few others. Their stories suck, mainly because there's only so much you can do with the legends other than repeat them over and over again.
Well, is it a changeling like a wolf were or a werewolf, or
How about a morphling?
Morphling.
or is it one that can take almost any shape, like Odo from
Lord of the Rings.
Deep Space Nine?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
so how
actually,
you spell shapeshifter is public domain or not?
Okay.
Kind of like super and superheroes. Depending on the spelling, depends on if it's public domain or not.
which one is which?
Fork with
I-
the king.
I didn't realize you could like copyright a term. Like,
Then apparently, Marvel
I
figured
thought-
out how to copyright superhero.
wow. Well, then I'm going to go copyright cat.
Okay.
Yeah. You really can't use the word superhero in a book, huh?
Well, I
That's
think you have
shocking to me,
divide
actually.
it.
I mean, that's just a common word.
Yeah, I think you have to separate it as being super and hero.
Yeah, it can't be one word.
Can it be hyphenated?
I don't know.
I mean, I like a lot of the copyright laws because it protects my IP, but at what point is it going, isn't that a little ridiculous?
Yeah, it's got to be spaced.
Yeah, just copyright all the words.
Super and hero has to be spaced. If it's hyphened or in one word, they're technically owned by either DC or Marvel.
That's pretty stupid. We came up with the term superhero and superheroes. We made them. Look.
So your characters in your book could talk about comics and reference Spider-Man, but if if a character says to another, that was just like a superhero, you're dinged.
Well, technically, it doesn't matter because in freaking 2 years, Batman and Superman hit public domain.
Yeah, but
Supposedly.
I really do like Batman, but I don't want him for my work, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, Steamboat Willie hits public domain in January. Disney has
No,
fought and tried, but they can't get it.
No, screw Steamboat Willie. I'm going for the gold. I'm going for the real character. Bring me Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Shouldn't he be public domain by now?
I would think so. I mean, he was
Winnie
the
the
forerunner
Pooh
to
is
Mickey
now.
Mouse. Yeah, and after Blood and Honey, I kind of wish he wasn't.
Oh, was there? I heard of the movie. Did it come out already?
Yeah, no, I didn't go see it, but
Huh.
I heard about it. I think it was probably just one of those things that's more for just being ridiculously shocking for the sake of being shocking. But again, I have
Yeah.
not seen it. I cannot sit here and say whether it was good or not. But I'm not a horror
Yeah.
movie guy, so I probably
Oswald the
wouldn't like
Rabbit
it
became
regardless.
Oswald the Rabbit. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Came
No
public
problem.
domain January 1st, 2023.
Huh. So
He
this
is
year.
he is public domain according to Google. There might be more leaguifications outside of that, but officially he
Uh-huh.
is now.
Now I watched was it Film Theory? I think you've probably seen Matt Pat's channels, the Film Theory, Game Theory, all those things, and he did a whole thing about things going to public domain and how like they're going to stop trying to fight to keep this particular character out of the public domain. What they're doing to protect these things now is logos, branding. If you look, Disney now has a Steamboat Willie as part of its like intro, and they trademarked it.
Uh-huh.
In other words, they're getting rid of around the public domain by
So
trademarking the logo.
yeah,
For now.
yes. So Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse may be public domain, but you better not make them look like that because that's our trademark. You see that when a new movie opens up, you see the old Steamboat Willie quick clip. So that's how they're working around it. Superman will become public domain, but the big S on the chest is trademarked. You cannot put that on there if you use them.
Put on it backwards.
Oh yeah, and if you want to use Superman, fine, but you got to wait another 10 years before you can let him talk to Lex Luthor.
Yeah, Billy Bob said Mickey Mouse is supposed to be in public domain already, but that they were able to get something passed that allowed them to extend it. And what that was, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was just buying somebody off.
It doesn't matter right now. Disney's pretty much screwed.
Hopefully.
Yeah, as much as they have it coming to them, they're so screwed it hurts to see it, you know.
Well, worse, they decided to pull a fast one on the Reedy Creek deal. You know that DeSantis is going to smack him twice as hard now.
I don't know. I heard that they did some kind of thing on Reedy Creek, and someone said, "Oh, it's just some kind of temporary victory," but I didn't actually get a chance to sit and
Wasn't
listen
even
to
a
what was
victory.
going on with that.
I don't remember which lawyer it was that I watched. It may have wasn't Good Logic. I don't remember which one it was, but I think he was saying that what they were trying to do was basically change the possessor of the special district or something, which means that they're no longer taking it away from whoever is currently in control of it. But it was like that's technically something that's done in civil situations, like between person to person. That's something that has nothing to do with like a state like entity. And so in that case, the state has control over that, not an individual.
I've actually heard a few legal people say that. The problem is they still got to try to semi-negotiate. Florida's got to semi-negotiate with them, but it's not going to end well.
Readout says, and for those way in the back, way up in the nosebleed seats that still don't grasp Disney as a creatively bankrupt, they just announced they are making a live-action Moana.
That's probably just so they could, I don't know, tap into The Rock.
Why?
Yeah, it was not that I'm looking forward to that, but if they do it, then yeah, The Rock better play Maui live action as well as. What I want to know is who's the chick that'll play Moana?
Why?
His niece.
So we could warn her that not to ruin her career.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Just think of it this way: because they're screwing up, it is chance for new creativity, new IPs.
Yep. All burned.
Morally and creatively bankrupt.
Yeah, and the thing is, there are so many things out there. I mean, if they can't come up with something on their own, there's so many things they could adapt that they've gone nowhere near. And right now, I'd say do them the favor, don't go near them.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're just they're spinning in circles. It's the same thing, just different dressing on it, but nothing new. And nobody's falling for it anymore.
The sad thing is, okay, I'm an amateur
Yeah,
writer.
that's their business. Disney is the nostalgia business. That's about it. Yeah, you're exactly right. Readout.
I'm an amateur writer. I have maybe the language skills of a 13-year-old,
Be right back.
but our Shalar stories have more heart and soul, and we're just creating this to BS and possibly help Royce than what we've seen from Hollywood in how long?
I don't know. It's been some time.
It makes no sense. These guys are getting paid millions of dollars to do this shit, to create simple entertainment for families, for people to enjoy, to escape for 2 hours, and then come back to the real world. But they insist on throwing their real world politics into these stories, making them shit. Whereas my 13-year-old level writing has more heart than their shit.
Well, the interesting thing there is that you actually have an idea. And
Yeah, right.
You may be having a hard time expressing that idea, but you actually have an idea. And that's one of the problems that they have is they don't even have an idea. They're just, oh, let's go and take this other thing and then change it. Who knows? Maybe they're on something or something, whatever. They just come up with ways to change the thing. Granted, they didn't. They tried to come up with a story for Velma because I don't know that that's based on any actual Scooby-Doo stuff, and I just find it horrifying what they've done with that.
Yeah, and still can't believe after how hard that show crashed that it's getting a second season.
Oh no, my computer
It's
just
called, but we can still hear you.
Yeah, Gilded just decided to crash for some reason, which was weird because I'm not even on Gilded, but it decided to pull up and go white.
Well, Readout says, just random. While I greatly enjoy anime, I don't follow the big named endless shonen. We watch shorter shows. Been Digimon Tamers, and that's because Tamers is what happens when a creator of Serial Experiments Lane makes a show for kids.
Serial,
It is the HBO Max show that must not be named. It was created only for Rogue Culture, for Rage Culture.
So Serial Experiments Lane, I think, was actually pretty good.
I'm not
It's
familiar
one,
with it.
I'm familiar with the name. I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but I'd have to go and look it up to actually remember it because that's not one that necessarily sticks in my brain. But like Death Note was great. What was it? I want to say like Black Mask or something like that. That was also a fun one. And then of course, I like a bunch of the great old classic ones like Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Trigun. Good grief. I know there's some other ones. There's a bunch of different ones that are interesting and stuff that are old ones. And then there's some that are newer ones that I've also enjoyed. Like one that I think I'm on the third watching of is Gate. And I know a lot of people don't like it because they thought it was going to be some campy harem show. And there was too much politics between modern day Japan versus fantasy world nations, and just like lots of death and destruction and war and stuff. And a lot of people didn't like that. And I think part of it was because either A, they weren't aware of the manga, or they weren't seeing where it was going during the second season.
Yeah, and a lot of people. Oh, by the way, read out. Yeah, my internet, the little signal thing is showing that my signal is kind of just dropping out. I'm not sure why.
I find
But
it
a
weird
lot
that
of
at the same time that Gilded decided to just open and crash on me.
No, that could just be gilded.
Yeah, Redoubt is
Oh.
right. Where else will you see JSDF roleplay of Apocalypse Now?
I don't know. It's just part of it feels like it's a little discouraging because it's a constant uphill battle when all we want is just simple stories. Oh, we lost frequency.
He'll come back.
I'm wondering if he's having to reboot.
Huh. I don't know, but you know, it's
There he
because
is.
they don't want to tell stories anymore. I'm not sure if they ever really did, because you know, when I think of Hollywood, where all this comes from, I think of one of the most suppressed and self-hidden places. You know, everybody's pretending to be something they're not for the sake of the masses, and then now they think that now's their chance for their liberal movement, and they're going to use what they know and you know, decide to make everything political. And they announced it years ago when they, you know, everybody was talking about it, but they said everything's political, everything's political. It was like this big whoop for about a month, and it was just them announcing, yeah, we're going to invade every little cultural area we can and force our politics onto it, force you out.
Well, okay. Hate to say this, but yeah, screw it. I have a pony on my picture. My Little Pony, the Generation 4 TV show. You can see physically when they invaded Hasbro watching that series. The end of season 4 into season 5, all of a sudden it went from a freaking kids show about friendship and music to all of a sudden we got to fight racism. We got to fight. You could see it clear as day when they invaded and when Hasbro was taken over.
Well, I think part of that may be because of the what was it, the Pony Bros, or what are they called themselves?
bronies.
Yeah, the bronies. They became the adult audience. Normally, I'd say that's not necessarily a bad thing. I absolutely love the old Gargoyles cartoon. The problem was that they shifted because now you've got grown-ups looking at it. Now we have to turn this into a political thing, I think.
Yeah, well, Hasbro got infected a while ago, and there's only one thing that could save it now: the power of the Matrix.
Hey, you know what? I'm trying, damn it.
That's right. Your other handle. Oh, by the way,
Matrix was good.
Huh. Uh-oh.
something very, very important has just popped up.
Really, what's that?
Kikomon!
Hey, Kikomon, happy birthday.
You, Kiko, man.
Kikomon!
Hey,
Missed you, man.
they're super excited to see you, buddy.
It hasn't been the
sorry.
same without you.
I've been busy.
I know. Working on your baby?
Working at work.
How's your puppy?
Oh, she's almost the same size as the large one now. So,
Oh, no longer a puppy.
nope. Progressing very
Oh,
quickly.
wow. Yeah, it sounds like you had a long day at work today.
Yep, 12 hours.
Ew.
Oh, lovely.
Gross. Hey, Billy
Sorry about
Bob.
that. That was a mistake.
Not as cool as an intro as Kikomon, but hey.
Yeah, hey, Billy.
If that is that really all the intro we're getting from you, Billy? All right, we're going back to a Kiko intro.
Ooh, are we doing the real Kiko intro?
Kiko, it's Kiko.
Except for it's not on screen.
Oh, no, I just wanted the tune.
That's a
So
good.
what's been going on, guys?
Chilling. I bought you and Herman's book.
Good.
Awesome. I need to get
Maji blew up a
Hermes.
chip in a fucking orc camp.
Just because my character's a pyromaniac means absolutely nothing.
Oh, it means everything.
Shalar.
No D&D session with Otter.
Yeah, but
My
Oh,
character's
but,
name was
in
Shalar,
D&D, Shalar is Billy.
and evidently an ancient, like, evil god as well. It's kind of confusing. Fish people worship me, is all I'm saying.
Oh, so kick him up?
No,
I mean, they
no,
look like
that's
people, man, in real life.
that's the that's his weakness, the soy sauce.
Frequency, did you watch that D&D one?
A
listen
good
to it?
chunk of it. I didn't get all the way through it yet.
Oh, dude,
It's
the ending
3.5
is
hours,
hilarious.
and I got a
You
lot
should
going
have
on.
like skipped the first hour and then just watch the ending.
Oh, so I sat there and listened attentively to the part I should skip, and
Yep. Well, that was when we were still
Well-
trying to figure out what the hell we were doing.
well,
Oh, so you don't
were
know what
getting away
happened to
from
the salty
you were getting
swallow?
away from pirates by the island when I had to dip off.
Oh, okay. So you don't know what happened to the salty swallow. It does kind of play in towards the end of the fucking stream as well.
Which
Yeah.
I
Like I said, skip the
I
first hour and
started
just
laughing
watch
my
the
ass
ending.
off when I
You're
heard
fine.
Salty Swallow, but
The what? I didn't hear what you said.
what to who?
You.
I said I laughed my ass off when I heard Salty Swallow.
It pays off later. Maji knows what I'm talking about.
I had fun. Okay.
Well, I hope so. She was there.
Otter's reaction to that orc camp was so fucking hilarious. he marked it out on the map, the orc camp, with an X, and just started fucking scribbling over it.
And now, did you guys do your the second session yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay,
don't
good.
know,
I
we
still got a
haven't
chance to
decided on-
catch up.
Planned. That's part of it.
I'll have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, skip the first hour. We were still trying to figure out what we could and couldn't do.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but I wanted to know who is playing what. And Trippy playing that. What is he? A druid?
Yeah, he's a fire druid, fire circle druid, wolf dude.
Which is funny because he
A
didn't
character
use any
named Wolf.
fire. And my character's like,
Your character loves fire.
Nikolai's character, his first name is Voldemort's middle name.
Marvolo?
Marvolo. Yeah.
Marvolo. Sounds
And,
like the name
his
of an ice cream
character,
stand.
Yeah, his character gasped a lot. He kind of rolled really bad and fell on his character's back off the what is it called? The main mast pole where the crow's nest is on.
I have no room to talk. My fire resistance is the only reason why I was still alive.
I know you thought the fire resistance was actual like immunity at the beginning. That's what I was telling you. It's just resistance means, it takes you a little bit longer to burn. Not that you can't burn.
Yeah, well, I was a
I'm
little
surprised
confused
you
on
didn't use
that
the
when
hellish
you were
flame.
asking, is the orc flammable? I mean, I would imagine no more or less than any other, humanoid. I mean, can you burn? Yes, but you're not going to go up in flames like your Tinder or something.
I sure don't.
Oh, Maji, he must have seen the part where you tried to light that one orc on fire and you just like lit up a little tiny flame on his, his shoulder.
That was just a shitty roll.
At least you didn't crit.
So what fire resistance means that the character is a smoker and burned his fingers a little bit here and there?
Fire resistance means I took half as much damage or I'd be dead.
So like inverse Kiko Man, it just means her skin is actually harder to burn than compared to ours or normals.
I played.
Trippy!
Oh man, what up, guys?
Party's
Hey,
here. We got Kikoman, Trippy, and Billy Bob. I guess Herman.
Yeah, that's right, soy slut. You're behind on your payments.
Yes, Beam Bobsack.
Did you just call him Ballsack?
Bobsack.
Oh, gotcha.
He's wearing purple for a reason.
I'm wearing purple, gold, blue,
All the colors of the
silver,
rainbow.
white, orange.
I gotten started playing Divinity Original Sin with a couple of friends, and we didn't realize that all the barrels exploded, and we dropped like fireball or something, and pretty much the entire place would explode.
Yeah, Maji looked out for the barrels at the beginning of the story. That's all I'll say.
Maji freaking nerded out. She lost focus on the game. She got so caught up in the science of what happens if you put acid on what was it, gunpowder or TNT?
Yeah, on a gunpowder barrel.
Gunpowder. So she just completely lost focus on the game. I swear, for like 15 minutes, just looking up what would happen. What'd you look up? Like hydrochloric acid on?
Sulfuric acid on black powder.
There you go.
This is what you call
Go
a
learn something that
nerd.
day.
Yeah.
That
Hey,
was
yes,
kind of my
Bruner.
fault.
Welcome. How you doing?
Hey, man.
A.S. Burnett. Brunette? Is it Burnett or Brunette?
I think it's Brunert.
Brunette.
Bruner?
I thought there was a two name.
Brunert.
Brunette.
We're sorry. We try really
And
hard
if-
to pronounce your name
And if I'm
right.
saying it wrong, I'll send him a link so he can come on here and chew me out. I've tried to get him to come on before. I haven't tried in a while. Hey, Brunert, I'm going to try and get you to come on again tonight. Let's see how that works.
Alright.
I'm still waiting on my laptop shipping here.
So, Trippy, how goes your rating? As the IronAge poet.
So it's not really going because my computer's a POS and Word app. I swear, every document just keeps not responding. Like keep typing and it says not responding. It's really starting to piss me off. My web browser, Firefox, just randomly freaking closed on me or crashed when I was on YouTube. Like I finished watching a music video or something like that, and nope, just crashes. Just had to close the
Sure it's
program and
not
everything.
Windows 10.
Oh, brother.
It keeps doing
And just
that
doing
to
that
me.
more frequently. It's becoming more frequent and frequent that it's slowing down and crashing and slowing down and crashing. So I'm like, oh, it's not going to last that much longer. But I basically only have like 4 pages done, and I'm almost done with my opening scene.
How many years you get out of your computer?
Well, it's from 2013, so it's almost a decade old.
Oh,
It is a
I mean,
decade
that's
old.
pretty good. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Again,
it,
I actually
is
surprised this
yours-
little thing's a little trooper.
is yours a Windows 10?
I think so, yeah.
Careful,
really have a
Windows
choice, right?
10's been bricking old computers. That's why I had to break down and get this one on clearance.
Oh, yeah. No, it wants to do an update. That stupid window keeps popping up saying schedule an update, and I just keep saying remind me tomorrow. And I'm probably
Yeah,
going to do
that's
that
what
until
it
this
is.
computer dies.
There-
Trippy has finally embraced my iPhone. What I do to the fucking Apple phone
Yeah.
shit.
Well, sometimes I don't
Okay.
have a choice. Sometimes I'll just wake up and it's like it's sign me out, you know, I have to sign back in and everything, and it restarts and just
Yeah.
automatically updated itself.
That's annoying.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how mine is like not how it's not broken yet. Like
Just be
it's been like
careful.
a year and a half, maybe 2 years since I've last updated this bitch.
Well, that kind of shows the point. Like updates are kind of useless, right? Every time they do updates, it always seems like things get worse, things break more. And if you have a phone that has no update and it's just working fine, what are the point of all these updates? We don't need to update it every.
Because
6
they
months or something. We
intentionally
don't even update it every
obsolete
year.
your
Planned
technology
obsolescence.
until you buy a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A.S. Bruner says, doing good. I'm currently in D.C. If there's an insurrection in the next few days, it wasn't me.
Right, but you got to tell us how to
Readout
pronounce your
goes,
last
or
name.
was it? No, James, I accidentally shilled your stuff to Bruner because I went to send him the link to join, and I hit Control V, not realizing the last thing I copied was yours. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah,
Hey,
so
but hey,
Yeah.
let
Free
him
show.
know if he buys one, he can enter in a contest and hopefully win
Wrong, James.
all his other
Yeah.
books. A copy of
but
all his
as we just saw, he is out of town at the moment, so he can't join us tonight.
Well, there was like 3 insurrections and a die-in over the last week or 2, I think.
Insurrections are a dime a dozen now.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't get very far.
Yeah, but the problem is what they're calling insurrections aren't truly insurrections. I mean, like the whole January 6th, there was a riot, not an insurrection.
Yeah.
What was it? There was a worse one a few years before when they messed up the church and they actually had to. Remember when Trump came out in the news and stood in front of the church after they were all cleared away because they were firebombing the place?
And he
When
held the
people,
Bible upside down.
Yeah. Yeah, that was far worse than January 6th,
when
but
people
they don't
laughed
call
at
that an
It
insurrection.
was embarrassing what that was.
when people laughed at Trump for going into a bunker, right?
Yeah. Oh, and what about the time that everybody made it into Kavanaugh's place? That was far further than January 6th ever got. They didn't call that an insurrection. And
I mean, didn't the
It
White
was like-
House burn down in like 1812?
Yeah,
By
By Canada.
Canadians.
I don't know. I'm
Pretty sure a
not
lot of
that
this
old.
stuff happened.
Yeah, by Canada.
Readout could probably answer that.
Now
Canada's
one,
the only one that's been successfully able to infiltrate the DC.
It's so sad.
I think one of them was in the capital of Kentucky. I think one of them was the capital of Tennessee. And then I think a couple days later, there was one in Florida. Yeah, and I think it was kind of related somewhat to the Trans Day of Vengeance.
All right, Ace Bruner says there was supposed to be a Trans Day of Vengeance while I'm here, but it got canceled. Well, I'm glad the Decepticons couldn't make it. And Readout says we burned York, Toronto. The British burned DC as a response.
Yep.
It's been 200 years. Let's call it even.
No, fuck that. Still hold a grudge.
Yeah, it was supposed to be April 1st for the Day of Vengeance.
Well, makes fun. That makes sense. I mean, April's Fools.
Tennessee, I'm pretty sure was in direct response to the school shooting thing. I don't remember what the other 2 were, but the deal in Texas was a die-in where they came in and said, "This is what you're doing to us," and then just like all fell on the floor.
See, politics is no fun anymore. Crazy, yes, but what's weird is how it gets so crazy without any of the fun.
Yeah, I know.
Never miss
I never
just
thought
so
I'd
blank.
miss Bush. Like I remember growing up under the Bush regime, and it's just like you wouldn't think you'd miss the guy until now, until the things he said. It was just hilarious. It was just kind of like it was dumb, but it wasn't like sad dumb. It was just dumb. This is just sad. Like the president or current president, that's just sad. I feel bad making fun of him just because it's pathetic.
Well, Kamala went off to Africa to talk to them, and that was. It sounded like she was talking to a 5-year-old or something. Well, the apps on your phone, they can do things, and it's like, what?
Hey guys, am I still visible?
Yep.
My screen just went blank, not off, but blank, and I can't do anything. I think I have to reset my laptop. So I will be back on in a couple minutes.
Oh, good.
Uh-oh.
We'll hold down the
Hold
fort
the,
for you.
Hold down the shop.
Yay!
Oh, stop.
Technically, if it was going to be a day of vengeance, it would have to be the fact that Hogwarts Legacy won against their boycott.
Well, I think so. The deal in Tennessee was due to the recent passing of legislation, I believe, And as part of that, I don't know if that was the reason why the school got shot up or not, but that was definitely the reason for the insurrection at their capital.
No, it was because of the fucking where you can't allow. It's illegal now to have kids at drag shows and shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. That's what I meant by the legislation that was passed. That was the reason for the.
So all of that was because they didn't want kids at drag shows. Why? Even drag
Well, 'cause you had
queens
a
say
der-
that
no,
they're
no,
not
Mike,
supposed
you
to be
had
at
a
drag
deranged
shows.
woke lefty who was acting a trans person who fucking decided to go shoot up
I'm actually more
specifically a
concerned
Christian
about where to put my
private
savings
school.
at: the Chinese yuan or buy gold.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but there's even trannies, or not trannies. There's even drag queens that say that kids don't belong at drag shows.
Yeah.
From
pretty
what I
sure
heard
Jordan
from
would say
some,
that.
yeah, I believe it was James Lindsay who put forth the notion that they're trying to simply recreate the George Floyd incident with someone in drag or someone who's trans. And
Yep.
then they want to put them in very vulnerable situations and try
They
to
wanna
just get
sacrifice 'em.
people incited.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they wanna
basically sacrifice them.
Yeah,
Get it
that's how
on
it works.
camera, and then
They
George
want to
Floyd.
create
you
a
guys heard
trans
about
Jesus. Could you imagine that? A trans Jesus.
Did you guys hear about the kid? This freaking 13-year-old got banned from a Pokemon tournament because he
Oh, yeah.
nervously laughed at pronouns, not knowing how to answer.
Yeah, well, so I guess the solution would be if someone ever asks you like, "What are your pronouns?" Just immediately say, "No, that don't ask me that. I feel uncomfortable. I now feel unsafe that you asked me that." Just throw it right back in their
Well,
face.
if
If
The
they're
true
unsafe, for them,
answer
well,
to that,
YouTube,
I'm
I'll
unsafe.
tell you mine,
Question.
Trippy.
see, the true answer to the pronoun question is I don't know, because pronouns are only used primarily in the third person, which is when you're like 90% of the time not in the room. You
Yeah.
But
essentially
here's
try
the
to turn
thing, though.
two
They
speaks.
asked a kid that
Yeah.
at a Pokemon tournament and banned him because he didn't know how to answer.
It's because
Yeah,
it was
an adult did
infected
that.
by wokeness. That's that. There's no such thing as innocent wokeness. As soon as you break a rule, you're satanic to them. You need to be purged because you're unclean.
But it's Pokemon. Why the hell?
It's
would
woke.
you
It's
ask
woke.
a
Doesn't
kid
matter. It
that?
doesn't matter what it is. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a cult.
Trust me,
tactic.
I actually was following this YouTuber where he's part of a group like that just dresses up and walks around looking all anime-ish or some shit, and then they
Whenever
were
you get-
having the same bullshit.
Whenever I get asked that, your pronouns is the majestic soy or your
Majestic
Lord Soyful.
I'm pretty sure that would have gotten the 13-year-old banned for saying that too.
The majestic soy.
Yeah, but at least he can fake outrage on it and turn it against them.
It's all people who are insane that are wake up full of anguish and hate in their hearts and need something to aim it at, and they're waiting for for someone to be less than righteous in their eyes so they can justify their spewed hatred. They're sincerely mentally challenged, and people are just capitulating because nobody wants to deal with the uncomfortable elephant in the room. And it's kind of a human thing to give in to continuous capitulation by an otherwise passive society.
Oh yeah, dude.
Well, why would they stop if they keep getting what they want? They're just going to do it more and more.
And nothing's going to change unless if you change it. So I'm
I
starting
really
to
hope
challenge some
that
of my
judge
community.
got fired and banned from Pokemon.
He
I mean,
did.
Screw it, abandon Pokemon, let them have it and move on. And then these
No,
mega corporations.
that is a child-loved program. So many kids play Pokemon cards. So many kids collect the Pokemon. And face it, that's been around for over 25 years. Why the hell would you ruin that for a kid? Especially
Same reason
since
They did it with
ruined
Magic.
Star Wars.
there is
They did it
far
with
worse
everything.
things they could be doing. They could be out friggin' he's 13. He could be out trying to get
Indoctrination.
drugs and drinking. No, he's playing freaking Pokemon at
And
a
you gotta
national
remember,
tournament.
to them, drugs and drinking is also kind of a positive. They want to introduce youngsters to these things, because it's insanity. It's
Mindless
broken in the
self-indulgence.
mind. and it's infected. You gotta, if you want to save Pokemon or whatever, you got to take it back and you got to fight that ground, and that's going to be difficult.
Thankfully, it's not within the Pokemon IP itself. It was just a judge at a tournament, but still, it's way too far because kids should not even have to be thinking about this. It
Yeah.
shouldn't even be brought up to them. The whole pronoun thing, no, leave it simple. I keep pointing at Kindergarten Cop. That kid back then, he explained the whole thing right then and there. It's not too difficult to figure out.
Well, they want to make it confusing for the kids because they're easier to control. It's all about control and raising another generation in their footsteps, which is completely insanity.
I'll be very
brainwashing
honest.
works.
As this shit has been coming along, I'm becoming in my
Mhm.
mindset more authoritarian or theologian or whatever you want to call it. I I'm moving away more and more away from the libertarian aspect of it, where live and let live, or everyone is free. I'm getting fucking tired of this shit.
I believe it was Sargana Bakad who actually kind of explored the notion that our basic liberal ideals are not found within human nature. And
Absolutely no.
it's not found within human nature.
It's
Unfortunately,
found
it's
on
found
the
within a civilized society who fosters those things, but we're in the midst of its destruction.
Well,
and a strong moral background on top of that.
they're not letting us just live. That's part of the problem. Is that with live and let live, it's fine as long as everybody abides by that. But they're not. They're attacking everybody who's not part of their fundamental cult, or not cult, because that's hidden religion.
Yeah, no, their ideology's founded on that stuff. It's their base.
Yeah, but
Actually,
the problem really comes in when you get sorry. Go ahead, I'll come back.
So one of the things that gives me hope here recently with the gender stuff and everything is the swimmer gal who refused to swim against that guy, Leah Thompson or whatever. She was giving a talk somewhere, and this expert came in, and this expert was like an expert of archaeology or something. Yeah, and she straight up asked him, if you found bones that were 100 years old, and one of them was man and one of them was a woman, could you tell the difference? And I don't know what exactly it was that he said, but it sounded something like he said no. And the entire crowd there just uproariously laughed their butts off. And this guy was like, well, I have all the data. I went to school. I have a degree in this, that, and the other thing. He was the expert. And it's like they just continue to laugh at him because if you can't get the basics right, then what kind of expert are you?
I was listening to a video today about something completely different. And it's not the subject I wanted to talk about, so I'm going to kind of just leave the subject out. But it was essentially a professor talking about a particular subject, and their entire issue was a certain population of people aren't going to college, therefore this is going to cause a particular issue to occur in the future. And even though I shouldn't say obvious, but easier solution would be for kind of the college to step down from itself a little bit, their only solution was to get more people into college. No matter what, you need more people to go to college, or they're stupid, they don't know enough, they're uneducated kind of ordeal. But college in itself has unfortunately become so polluted, as in obviously one of the first, if not the origin of this woke disaster we found ourselves in. And I believe it has been polluted for honestly over a generation, and only now has its true psychotic self has been revealing itself to it.
I think the advent of internet social media has definitely been to their advantage. Now it's almost like they have a weapon at their hands to take advantage of everyone's minds right at their fingertips, and it was able to spread this psychoticness like wildfire. That's why I'm all about self sovereignty. Like you all want to live, let live, but I say, be free your mind. Live free,
Trippy.
and this all comes with understanding your words. Like I'm learning, a lot of people don't actually choose their words. I'm all about having. You only have two options in life. You have free will here. Two things you get to choose. You get to choose your actions, and you get to choose your words. That is it. Everything else comes afterwards. You get to present yourself that way. This is how you communicate in a civilization, but especially the woke. Oh my gosh, the woke don't choose the words. They just talk. They're not speakers, they're talkers. So it makes it very easy to figure out where they're coming from because they show it. They say it, if you know
Trippy.
how to look for it.
I would have agreed with you a few years ago, but now that I see that normal people without any criminal background issues or whatever are being placed in prison for political prosecution, to me that is a step over the line. At this point, there
Yeah.
is no more live and
Oh.
let live from my perspective.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the problem I was going to mention earlier. The rules are not being applied evenly.
No, they're not.
I mean, one
Yeah,
side goes
without-
ballistic, they let go. Another side looks at you wrong, they throw the book at them.
Rules,
And-
what rules?
And so, how do you step it up and meet that challenge head on the same level without actually escalating the whole thing? That's the question.
You don't. You escalate.
Yeah, that's the issue. Is forgot who said this. Yeah, somebody I was listening to who lives in Korea. They said America's starting to slowly look like Korean politics, and that is that the way it happens in Korea is pretty much every single leader has been imprisoned or jailed by the leader that came after them. And it says, and if the Democrats keep opening this door and the Republicans have half the spine, it's going to start looking like that.
Banana
So
Republic.
childish.
So, if
Uh-huh.
they do nothing, they get run over. But if they stand up, it's civil war. Is there a way to resolve this without things getting
Well,
any stupider than they already are?
well, my biggest concern here is, if all the rural areas decide that one day we had enough, they can block highways and all the cities die out within a month. My concern is that the right side will not become more of nationalistic to the extent where it becomes somewhat of a Nazi Germany and you blame the other. But it's hard for
But
me
we're kind of
to.
already getting that attitude flinging all over the place to begin with.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that fucking attitude. I don't want to have that, but it's like, what do you do at this point?
You let it go.
And what? And get in prison for
Yeah,
speaking out or whatever? And
So, well, one thing is like whenever the right goes too far,
What do you
a lot
think?
of people on the right tend to call them out and say, "No, we're not going down that route." Whereas on the left, somebody goes too far left, they don't care that. Oh, we need to go further.
They almost encourage it.
Yeah, and it's insane. And so there's going to be a hard. Here in the States, we kind of have like a back and forth, like the what is the metronome or whatever that goes back and forth whenever you're counting ticks in music or whatever. Yeah, and or on a clock, the thing that just swings back and forth, and so we go right, certain
Pendulum.
point, yeah, the pendulum, and then we go left, and then we kind of go back to the right, and at this point we've just gone way too left, and there's going to be a hard, probably reset to
yeah, it seems to swing 25% to the right and 100% to the left, 125% to the left every fucking year.
Sounds like a spinning plate that's just about to wobble out of control and fall
Well,
off.
it's more like a downward
balance.
spiral.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
some,
then again, everything twists. That's electrical current, right, Trippy?
I say
yeah,
the-
it spins.
The most
Actually.
peaceful thing you can do is slowly become as self-sufficient as possible and separate yourself. And
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, the more people that can operate independently, the less control everybody can pull.
Yeah, exactly.
Something I want to briefly say, and I've been mentioning this over and
Until
over.
they pass laws that make your self-sufficiency illegal. Yes.
Yeah, but
Man,
we
I'm a Mexican. We don't follow laws.
Darn, I
What's
can't
going
save
on,
it.
Readout?
What? Sorry to break you up. I just got to add this one up to the joke. Plus, I'm a California Mexican, so as long as my self sufficiency isn't over $900, they ain't gonna put me away.
Hey James, are you ready for an influx of American running away from America to Mexico? Illegal immigration there.
I've heard
Readout
of
was
that.
trying to make a point,
I've
Kiko,
heard
man.
of
I
that.
think you're trying to cut him off. Readout,
Yeah,
what
I'm
was the
sorry.
point you're
Yeah,
trying
go
to
ahead and read out.
Oh,
So you probably heard about people talking about, peaceful divorce for the longest time. And it sounds great on paper, but then you start realizing what happened in the Balkans after the fall of the Soviet Union. And it looks like that's where a lot of things in this country are going. Because think about it. A lot of these cities and a lot of the rural areas in these states are already night and day. They're two very different ways of life, two very different governments. There are places in this country where I personally do not feel safe going to, or I would not feel welcome going to, or in the case of certain restrictions involving medical things, which we will not say any more about, I physically can't go into some of these places as a result. Still, and it's 2023, so it's already starting to happen. It's already starting to happen.
Yep, balkanization, baby. That's what we're headed towards.
Well, you know what? We've always really had balkanization because, let's face it. You go out west, you get up in like Utah and Idaho. Those are primarily Mormon areas. So we've always had that.
there is a huge difference between previous scenarios of civil wars versus ours that may be coming. Is that most rural areas do have guns, have means to protect themselves, whereas in most other cases that was not the case. So I don't know how it will play out necessarily, but that's a big factor.
That kind of changed in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah,
'Cause a lot
dude.
of them fucking realized, holy shit, riots. Well, it's time to get gun.
Yeah, that was probably some of the best years for gun sales ever.
Mm-hmm.
They
Even
were.
here in California, I went to go look at some guns with my buddy, and he told me that a lot of the guy at the gun store, the gunstone owner, said a lot of the people coming in seemed like they were more Democratic type than Republicans, really.
Yeah, I heard like while all that was going on, a lot of Democrats were like getting a wake up call when they realized just how difficult it was to get a firearm, thinking, "Oh, it's so easy to get a firearm." Yeah, if you do it illegally. If you do it legally, that's a lot of effort, a lot of work.
Yeah.
You do it illegally, it's almost anybody can do that. It's weird how they almost try to encourage the illegal route.
Yeah, well, I loved there was a journalist who tried to go and buy it, and the very first thing that she ran into was her driver's license was not up to date with her address. And they said, nope, okay, you need to go and fix that before we can do anything else.
What was that movie called? The Quick and the Dead. Anybody see that movie?
Yeah.
They just walk. They
I
just
have.
walk into the gun shop. What you got? Boom, $5. It shoots straight. It's like, yeah.
Honestly, I believe that's how it should be. You have
I agree
money,
with you actually, because
That's how it was.
an armed society is a polite society.
Yep.
Back in the day, I remember, people before the police, before all that, and they only had each other to depend upon. Everybody was armed. Everybody they had a gun rack in church for people to line up their guns when they go sit in the
Yep.
pews.
It all comes back to you hear about all these shootings, these massacres, all these gun crimes, and where are they most predominantly?
Gun-free
Gangs.
zones.
Gun-free zones.
Yeah.
Where
And
they
a lot
don't
of gangs.
shoot back.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
And it
I
is
love-
very tribalism, because like I guarantee you got a small town where everybody knows each other, everybody takes care of each other. Ain't nobody gonna pull a gun on each other.
I think there's a recent Biden quote, something about can't buy cannons or flamethrowers. Well, you can go to the store and buy a flamethrower. Cannons are a bit harder
Raven,
to
that can't be from Biden. That was a complete sentence.
Yeah.
That's coherent.
Come on,
He's
man.
pulling his strings.
here's one thing that
Obama.
Yeah, but I think Obama
I don't know
was
that,
funded
but
by the damn
I think
CIA, but I'm gonna stop
The
there.
guy
Don't wanna
can't even
go down
remember where the hell he is. There's no way he's coming up with all these policies on his own.
What'd you say, James? Obama was made by the CIA?
I said founded by the CIA, but I don't want to go down that route because
I could just see it now. There's a bunch of booths that look like they're from The Fly. They all open up and just
Right,
more
there's an
copies of
Obama in
Obama are
there.
marching out.
let's just say that there was some CIA agents in Hawaii. Well, his dad was there, and he stopped by and might have impregnated a woman before running off. And let's just say, allegedly, and there's maybe some reports about a lot of people in his so-called shared country that say that the FBI or the CIA came by and started talking to everybody in all these villages and say, "Don't you dare talk to anybody about Obama."
By the way, my comment
Obama.
was just
Obama.
sarcasm for any
you-
bot listening.
Yeah, totally. And anybody wants to go heavy down that, yeah, hit me up and deal with it. I can go on for a while.
But don't take us seriously. We're just a bunch of YouTubers and a soy sauce mascot. Don't listen to us. We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, the CIA is totally trustworthy. They
So
haven't done
here's
anything
an
in the past
interesting
that's cheating.
concept, right? With the United States introduced the TSA bullcrap after the 9/11 bullshit, right? And people were afraid of suicide bombers and shit like that. But what's the best place to be a suicide bomber in the line for TSA today? I'm surprised nobody took that action yet. But
Kikamon, don't give anyone any ideas.
no.
What's that I hear in the background? Was that the FBI calling?
But you look at those fucking lines. There's like 150 people standing in line, all cramped together. It's like,
you got
this
the point.
is the deal.
Even if like murder was legalized tomorrow, I don't think the number of murders would change. It doesn't like matter that if people want to commit terror, they do that thing. There's no preventing it. If they wanted to do that, like blow up that line, yes, you're giving them an opportunity to do it. If they wanted, but they're not doing it. It's rare. It doesn't happen.
Right.
Oops.
Absolutely.
Oh, live chat. So
it's
it just
because
tells
they're
me
doing
not
that to each other on Twitter.
Well, the only people that are making it seem like that's a frequently thing and it's always happening and we all got to be scared of it is the fucking news. Stop listening to the fucking news, man.
Although, you do go into the past and you will. Most people are surprised to find that when the Weather Underground was around, they actually detonated, I believe, over 200 explosives on American soil.
Jeez.
Yeah,
including
and then
the
a
U.S.
lot
Capitol.
Yep, including the U.S. Capitol, and a lot of them were, of course, rich white liberal kids, and their parents bailed them out, and a lot of them, most of them didn't go to prison, and a lot of them work at universities and things like that, and are professors.
I'm pretty sure that's a felony, detonating an explosive on American soil. Like if you're a citizen, no, I'm pretty sure
American
that's not
history is very thick, and what we teach people is very thin.
That's a good quote.
So that's why my shelves are creaking.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can tell you some very interesting things that instantly turn your heads around about some well-to-dos that are taught to be well-to-do in American history.
Well, wasn't there a lady that participated in, I don't remember what it's called, but basically putting like metal bars through trees. So whenever the foresters come through to try to clean them out.
Yeah, tree spiking.
Yeah. I believe that she was one of Biden's first picks for, what was
the
it?
radicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that guy, he doesn't have the brain power or the wit to have a political agenda. He spent most of his career basically lying through his teeth. Whatever got him elected, literally whatever got him elected in his district or wherever, that's what he said. And whatever trend that he wanted to run, that's the wave he rode. So this guy, as much as I dislike him intensely, he's apolitical. He's only out for the power and the money. Yeah. So if there's an agenda, it ain't coming from him.
No, he's the perfect puppet. Wants to get paid and get his people paid because they're all trying. Let's be honest. These politicians, all these professional politicians, and all these fat cats in various industries, they're playing they're essentially playing like monarchy and royals up there, and just trying to keep everyone down here, almost like dare I say it, in an illusion of I guess
Yes,
what
you
they
can
would
say
call
that.
democracy.
Oh yeah.
We can definitely say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I think they think themselves as royals, and they very much are. Very much are. You look at a lot of them. A lot of them come from old blood.
Yeah, and a lot of people think we live in a capitalist society, and we honestly don't, because they've been cramming stuff through to prevent any competition because it would cost too much to even try to compete with some of the companies.
Yep.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, I always get this whole, capitalism brings about corporatism, and that's not the case. As a matter of fact, socialist and large bureaucracies bring about corporatist.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Yep.
look at the things we're doing. All this decentralized stuff right here.
Well,
All of this is
I'll give you a
all of
prime. I'll give you a prime example. Is
Right.
what I'm saying,
Excuse me.
talking about is the auto industry. If you tried with all the regulations required on any given car, and that includes cafe standards, includes safety
Uh-huh.
standards, that includes all the various mandates set down by the federal government mandates, like having like mandating backup cameras in all your cars, and having there's something to do with the mirrors. It's a whole array of them. You would have to sink billions into producing just one car, and then you'd have to fight. Then you would have to compete against the three existing companies in this nation, and you wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, it would be you'd have to literally go out and get billions of dollars just to kind of prototype a car, and then
Actually,
billions of dollars more to assemble it.
Herman, on that point, is anyone here pro seatbelt laws?
I am not. I am also anti-helmet laws.
Hmm.
Although I never ride without my helmet on, but
Well,
But
in
it's
Southern
a choice.
California, that would be like suicide trying to.
Oh,
Yeah.
more often than not, I had a helmet, but if I wanted to ride without one, that was my
Uh-huh.
choice, not the
Mhm.
state's.
Yeah, initially I would say I'm kind of mixed, but the thing is that you should have the right to do whatever, but I think there needs to be a lot of messaging around safety. Lots of safety
Under
training.
18, yes. I'm all for seatbelt and helmet laws for under 18. They're minors. Once they're adults, then
Yeah.
by all means, let them
No,
choose their own path.
I would challenge you on that.
Yeah.
Yep. Drink whatever, smoke whatever, eat whatever, drive whatever, as long as you know the consequences from your own family. The
I would
government knows no business telling me what to do.
I would say
All right.
more so on the underage teen thing myself, because the parents should basically be in charge.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
frankly, the parents should be, raising them to understand what their rights are and what they can and can't do and what they should and shouldn't do for the sake of others.
Yeah. Well,
All right,
one of the
I mean, all of
problems
your
has
parents should raise
been
you to be who you are.
people are, well, some people are really dumb and stupid, and that's why we have like the warning message on hair dryers that says don't put this near the tub, because people were dumb and stupid and would use it while they were in the tub. Well, now that we're keeping the dumb people around, now they're causing more and more problems.
And sometimes I think signs are left up just to make people ask questions. Like there's this one place I used to work at years ago. When I first started working, I walked in the bathroom and saw a sign inside the bathroom on the wall that said, "Do not bring your lunch into the restroom." I'm like, no way. Who the hell decided, you know what? This is a great place to have some chow.
You go to Gettysburg, there are signs on private property, no ghost tours allowed.
No what?
No ghost tours.
Get off my property.
Ghost.
Yeah.
What
I
if I
know
told-
to a
what if I
degree. I
told-
believe. Go ahead.
Just briefly want to say, what if I told you that there are more ghost tour organizations in the town of Gettysburg than there are history tours. The number is 18 the last time I checked.
Oh,
I would
brother.
have
Yeah,
no
I
problem
believe it.
believing you.
believe it.
Ghost hunters love Civil War battlegrounds.
People love
Yeah.
Now,
ghost
James,
stories.
proceed.
Okay, I don't remember what I was. Oh yeah, now I do. I was just gonna hint towards, after MK Ultra, we decided to make it illegal for advertisers to advertise using subliminal messaging. So I think there is a lot of subliminal messaging happening around us, and they may know a thing or two about how powerful it is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But-
I mean,
but
that's how it works. That's how
Well-
propaganda works. I guarantee you in Disney,
The other
there's
thing,
just some sort of there's probably a lot. If I actually go there and sit, well, then of Thor Ragnarok, or not Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder. So if I get that final scene, there's a lot of there's a scene with kids in it. A lot of kids are in that movie. Don't you realize that?
No, I never seen it.
Okay, so Thor basically fights alongside of kids, and if I remember the plot correctly, like at the end of the movie, Jane becomes a kid again.
No,
Is that what's going on?
no,
Because
Jane
at the
didn't
final-
become a kid again.
At the final scene is like him with like a little girl, I'm like, is that the daughter? Is that what's going
No,
on? there?
that's it. That was Gore's daughter that was brought back to life by eternity, and Thor is raising her in a parental figure because Gore's his last words were "Take care of her, take care of my love," meaning his daughter, and so Thor is now raising Gore's daughter, Love. And
Okay.
fun fact, the little girl is played by Chris Hemsworth's actual daughter.
Oh, cute.
oh,
Okay, so I was trying to figure out what's going on here, but you can totally tell that Disney's targeting children, and like James said earlier, it's how you target the next generation. You got to target the next generation, brainwash them to believe something, and then they go up and then bring that into the world, and that's just like the way it is, and it's really, really hard to combat. I mean, this is that's what I say. It's a psychic war. It's psychological warfare, and no one really knew about it until now. Of course, after they learned this during MK Ultra. They obviously had to learn this stuff. CIA knows this stuff. I'm sure there's a CIA in China that knows this stuff, and that's why they sent TikTok at us and bombard us with that useless app and all those trends. I'm pretty sure.
Well, it
a
all
Chinese
started with
weapon.
the newspaper, then radio, then TV, and all.
Silent weapons for a quiet war, and
Yep.
I'm starting to realize this might have been going on since
Oh, yeah.
media
At
has been a
least
thing.
World War II. At least World War II.
Yeah,
Well,
since radio, basically. Yeah, you could just broadcast
No, yeah, even no
information, disinformation that you want.
It was worse with newspapers. You have just this one or two publications that are the mainstream that are sponsored by the government. I think nowadays we're at a better position where we have the internet, but
That's true. Look at us
Well, we
talking
can
about
collaborate
it.
like this. We're allowed to
Fear pack.
communicate easier and see through the lies. Like a lot of people there's a lot of information. It's not just so forced through the mainstream media, either the newspapers, the TV, the radio. Now we have internet. Well, I'm trying to get to I don't even know what point I was trying to make. My point is just it's definitely some sort of subliminal messaging in Disney
point
and
is-
all these apps. There's no way it can't be. Cause and effect.
The point
Mhm.
is, you can continue taking the shite that Disney is spewing out and making new creativity, or you can go buy the Wizard Stone.
Yeah, you could go do that. And yeah, what he said. I like this.
And you can burn it if it's shit.
Herman, I must ask, what was it like going to get your birth certificate changed so your middle name could now be By My Book?
It was actually quite an easy process.
Is your publisher happy with that? Because that's a lot of words on the cover.
Hunter by my book.
Well, I have it abbreviated to P. P
That's
standing for By My Book.
Well, right now they had
Ah.
to, they had
Okay.
to, transition him over to a woman that one time.
Yeah,
they
We
did.
won't talk about that right now.
but I detransitioned.
Yeah.
Buy the book.
By the
one of the things they have said is if you hear something at least 3 times, it will stick. And that was
30.
part of the idea behind that annoying commercial way back when.
Okay, I know which one you talk about.
Yeah, I don't remember
Hey,
what it was. Like,
Harmon.
3 times you said?
yeah,
Okay, Candyman. Oh wait, maybe not.
Too late. I'm already, too late. I'm already
Harmon.
here.
Harmon, isn't there's an ebook sale going on chirp.com, right? Chips.
Audiobook. Audiobook.
Oh, I like audiobooks.
Yes.
What
They're-
website?
Chirp.
Sure. Sounds gay.
Whatever. It's through. I get distribution.
Oh, it's literature,
Yeah, I get distribution
which is also
through
gay.
Findaway Voices to Chirp, and
All right.
BookBub also advertises on Chirp, so I've got ads going for that. But yeah, I think it's like 25% off or something. Not quite sure. I didn't actually
Now,
calculate
can you
it.
spell chirp for me exactly? It's spelled the funny way?
CHIRP.
Sure.
Okay.
Chirp.
Okay. A few other ones.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what they got on sale.
Oh crap! Candyman actually showed up. Hang on a second, guys. I got to fix this. Beetlejuice.
Oh, that's only going to make it worse.
Harmon, is Chirp's like main theme song is "Bird is the Word"?
Bird. Bird is the word.
Don't know.
Copyright strike.
The Detroit Tigers used to
I
have
like the Peter Griffin version.
used to have a pitcher named Mark the Bird Fidrich, and every time he came out, they'd play that stupid frickin' song.
Yeah, yeah.
It was probably awesome at first until it reached the point where everybody just got sick of it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And he
Hey,
was
Novelty words
he
off
was he was an interesting character. He eventually ended up becoming a pig farmer.
All right.
Hey, Wrangler, I heard something about lasers. Can you cue us in on something?
Laser.
Yeah,
The
lasers.
laser?
So much to ask for sharks with frickin' lasers on their foreheads.
Well, these lasers are a bit more.
There it is.
Yeah, these lasers are a bit more profitable.
Jewish space lasers.
I had to remind you, freaking
Yeah.
Timmy, you didn't play it.
It's been a while, huh?
Here's a funny historical moment for you. Hitler did not look into atomic weapons. He looked into biological warfare because he said that the atomic research was Jew science. Therefore, they're not going to research any Jew science.
Yeah, that is true, and it's
Yeah.
because and actually didn't call
Because
it
of all
Jew-
the Jews were actually kind of
it,
researching.
it was called it Jewish physics, I think is the
Yeah,
exact
yeah,
version.
yeah.
No, I'm dead serious. That's what he said, and
It's true.
it was
Jewish space lasers.
We came back.
was one of the major scientists that was dealing, and Einstein was one of the people who worked
Mhm.
on the
Um,
project in the United States. So, and that was part of it. So,
Yeah. In fact, I believe it was the big N Nazis that invented nerve gas as we know it.
I'm not quite sure about
Something
that one.
messed up.
No, I'm not certain.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
half the avatars on my screen went blank, and I was booted in the middle of trying to click AOC's soundbite.
Well, it looks
Well,
like they're
it
still
froze
showing up
for
correctly
me.
on the stream.
It froze for me, and it was switching all of your names around on the blocks and shit.
Yeah,
we have a
everything
link
just
here.
scrambled. It's like
Yeah.
somebody hit the randomizer.
I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
music
about
pictures
freaked
all
out
to
for
there.
me,
My
and
screen.
I can't see.
Maybe that's signs that we've been hacked by the FBI and should wrap it.
I don't know.
The
If
fun
the
thing is,
FBI is
we're
hacking
already-
us, then they have no life.
on the stream, they're all fine.
Okay, it was sarin gas, which is actually a very powerful nerve gas we still use to this day. Sarin gas, what they when they invented.
I will be 100% honest. I don't believe any of the history that is taught to us or that is
Mhm.
available.
Well, this isn't like this stuff they don't teach in schools. This isn't
No,
public
it's not.
school information. You got to go really
you do
doing
have
the
to dig
research
for
for
it.
this.
Yeah, you have to go.
Yeah, this
The
is
back
not the
rooms.
stuff you just find on. This ain't no public school book.
True knowledge.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
most
well-
people don't know that most American generals in the army were actually very pro what was going on to the Jewish people, believe it or not. They were very pro it. A lot of the top leaders in the military to the point where our president, I forgot his name, actually shared a correspondence with Patton, basically saying what the hell is going on over there. You're treating them as bad as they did. You could actually find that correspondence. Very interesting.
Yeah. You need to treat them well. I want them to build my space lasers.
Well, that I don't think that that's particularly true because one of the things Patton was one of the ones they weren't one. He was like one of his army was one of the ones that actually uncovered on the American side some of the first concentration camps. And when he saw it, he literally got physically ill. And that was actually documented. There's the
it's an actual document you can find. I'll be happy to share it once I get my hands.
Shoot me the
on it.
link.
Yes, because it's you'd be surprised because
letters
like
and journals, dude.
And
That's
he
how
don't-
histories found letters and journals.
There was that whole boat of Jews that were escaping. That as soon as they made it across the ocean, they were basically told to turn around and go back.
Yeah, but
guys, we're having debates over the Bible at some point. Many of us having debates about the Christian word in the Bible, let alone doctored or undoctored documents of the losing side. Definitely, they're being purged. The winning side promotes whatever they want. You cannot believe anything you see, as far as I'm concerned. Live in the now and here.
There you go.
Here and now.
Yep, here and now and here, or whatever.
You say that to an English teacher, she'll give you a bad grade.
English is my third language, so I cannot complain.
I'm not kidding you because when I was in school, I did not understand English at all, and the stuff never made any sense. And the thing that would drive me nuts, the thing that always confused me and still drives me nuts to this very day, because I had a kid with the same problem, was when you get with an English teacher and you do like a report or something, and they mark you down for the words you use, and they say, and then they'll say, or they'll mark you down for the word, you shouldn't use this word, but they don't tell you what is normally used, and in some instances the words that are actually used are correct. It's just not done in a way that most people would say it, like like I said, now and here, now and here, as opposed to being here and now, and that I used to get into arguments
but technically that's not really incorrect either. It's just not the normal idiom.
Exactly.
Have a good night, Guilties. Thanks for stopping in tonight.
See
but I sometimes like to take things that technically aren't incorrect, but is not the typical word usage, just to see how people react. Like, someone asks how how's it going? You could say, "Oh, so far so good." Everyone hears that. So far so good. So I'll just like throw them off by saying, "No, so far so okay," and they look at me like that. Technically, I said nothing wrong, but that just like threw them off. Like that ain't right.
That's the whole foundation of poetry. Like it's not set up like English. I can move words around as long as it makes sense to you in the end.
As long as you can convey what you're trying to convey through the process.
Yeah, which I think I'm doing that because I get a lot of likes.
Now, is everybody's avatar still blank on your screen? I'm still getting like
just Trippy's on mine.
Yeah.
Oh, Trippy.
No, everybody's
the only
blank on
avatars
mine.
I could see is Maji's and James. Everybody else is blank.
About half, but they all show up on the stream.
So you're trying to hide Lumba?
I can see them all on the stream, so that's good.
Yeah, but the internet's been kind of hinky tonight. We all got scrambled once or twice. I got booted once right in the middle of it. I thought I was getting booted a second time, but it unfroze. Maji, how many times is yours frozen?
Yeah, a few. It's been freezing, and then officially got booted once.
Yeah, and my whole screen goes blank in the middle of it. I don't know what's going on. It's just all.
It must be StreamYard's messing up.
Or we're traversing to another reality. Again.
No, I think we pissed off somebody.
Yeah, there's a couple FBI.
Yeah, we're probably a little or a lot way too far under the radar for them to notice us. We're
For now.
so, like I said before, if they're worried about us, then everything in this world must be cool because they got nothing going on if they're looking at us.
Right.
Brunert says the third person in chat is an FBI agent. I kind of disagree because it's
Are you
like
saying James? James, you're an
James,
FBI agent.
what was it?
I
The
knew
one
it.
governor that there was a kidnap plot against, and then they found out like all but the one guy was FBI.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was
Yeah.
Darth Whitmer, Gretchen Whitmer.
And that's why, you hear anybody say something like that, you have to actively
and-
go against it. Not just even put up with it a little bit. If you don't actively go against it, they'll hold that against you too.
The first trial ended up basically with a hung jury. So they went back for a second bite at that apple, and they eventually got the guys convicted, which kind of shows you, what. It was interesting because it was supposed to be an open and shut case, and it started coming out that the everybody around this one guy were like federal informants, and they were basically what it came down to was an entrapment case. So, or they made enough arguments that it was an entrapment case that the jury couldn't decide.
And that's how it works, is to actively confuse the jury if you can't, don't have anything real to prove.
Yeah, well, it looks like there's some similarity there in January 6th, at least on the violence side of things.
So, James, has the Whitlow people come up with anything as crazy as what we've been talking about tonight?
Well, they're in a much more devastating state, so they kind of got a lot of underground movements already on the move.
And how can we read about these underground movements?
Oh, well, as I've said multiple times throughout the stream, you can go ahead and subscribe to worldwithoutendlore.substack.com and pick yourself up a free issue that'll be released every single month of Lore Drop magazine, and pick yourself up. Or you can go ahead and shoot me $5, and if I get enough $5 subscriptions, you can go ahead and see a physical copy at your door. And I'd love it to the point where, like, one of the first things I want to do is actually get physical copies out. And my goal is to get the subscriptions to the point where they already support the physical copies, and I don't have to put too much more into them. And if I do, I wouldn't really want to charge more than I'm already charging people, even for physical copies. That's just the goal down the road,
And that's what I'm hoping for. I'd love to have some physical copies to put on the shelf behind me right here.
Yeah. I'd love to be producing them. We'll get there.
Oh, I believe you. You have way too much cool stuff for it to not get there. But you know what that sounded like, James? An awesome start to the parting pitches. Parting plugs.
All right. I think that was my plug right there.
Yeah. So up next, Maji, what would you like to plug on the way out tonight?
Check out IronAge.media. His campaign is live. We've hit over 10,000 earned for the magazines. Please check him out. Submit a prompt. Go ahead, show your support for indie authors.
Buy the magazine. Buy the magazine.
Buy the magazine.
Yep.
And happy birthday, Kiko Man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Happy birthday, Kiko.
Yeah, happy birthday, sir. And thank you for being the largest supporter of World Without End Lore, as well as Frequency here, who you're another supporter of mine. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you can actually see who's doing it?
I can. I know who gives me $5. I know all of you. I'm actually gonna make it segments like the YouTubers do, where they put the names of their supporters. I want to put my premium supporters on inside the magazine as well. All your names can be there.
Good.
All right, Herman.
Yes, buy my book.
Quick, simple. I love it.
Frequency said too quick. Talk more.
Yeah, talk
Okay,
more.
buy
Talk more.
my book, the I've been for so long saying the Revenant in the Tomb, the Wizard's Stone. Also check it out on Chirp. Chirp's having a sale on it. Chirp is kind of like Audible, except you don't buy or you don't have an account with them. You don't subscribe to them. You actually buy the book. So, but it's like I think probably 25%, 10% off, something in that area. I'm not quite sure.
Okay, Kiko, what do you want to plug tonight?
Oh shit! Let's see. I guess Shotgun Samurai because he posted the Kikoman page, and IronAge Media for also having a Kikoman page in there. So there you go.
Support the Shotgun Samurai.
Woo!
Yeah, I can't wait to get that.
I think I got the wrong one here, though. Yeah,
That's an old one. Which Legends, I think, also closed a little while ago. But it still doesn't mean you can't go read it online. Not Legends, but the OG series. I'm confusing everybody now. I'll shut up now.
well, there's a lot of cool stuff to go see. All right. I hate that I can't see all the avatars because I don't know who's up next.
Raven.
Raven, go for it.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got stuff on Minds, Substack, and Locals. Raven Nevermore on all three of them. Should be linked in the description.
Let's see. Yes, it is. I was trying to get there for the screen share, but
Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Yep.
All right. All right. So there's Raven. So Billy Bobsack, you're up next.
You can find me on Only Latinum. We just done a special called Wamba Does Kronos. Be sure to check it out.
All right.
Spoken like a true Ferengi. Read out.
Well, I'm the black sheep of everybody here.
How so? You have a YouTube channel to plug, don't you? Two of them, I believe.
I got too much stuff to plug. I'll just put it very simple. You heard me last week plug. I do history videos. I live, preserve, and explore history, both locally and any history that I'm interested in. If you want to support me, you can go over to Readout Productions. I have started doing a weekly live stream. I haven't really hammered the start time, but it seems to be around 6:30 on Thursdays. So if you're looking for stuff to do, 6:30 p.m. on Thursdays, join me for Uncut History. And if you want to listen to me talk about pop culture, you can go to the Hetero Crow Media podcast. Now, as I've mentioned, it's a bit on hiatus at the moment as me and my co-hosts are too busy to meet up, but it will return this late spring. And in the meantime, you can listen to our earlier episodes and learn that we have a problem with watching dark, depressing things.
Most people do.
All right. Anyway,
on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Thursday nights, 6:30 p.m.
Your main channel should be linked in the description below, and I think I got that fixed on all the other videos. I went back through all of them just to make certain, because it was your link that wasn't working properly last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what happened is when I did the clips and every one you were in, I went to put your thing. I cut and pasted from the original that I got wrong, so none of them were working. I had to go through and redo them all.
It's conspiracy.
No, it was my fat fingers hitting the wrong button, I think. Trippy.
You can find my poetry at trippysoul.substack.com. I have my latest one up there. It's an IronAge Media prompt, The Downpour, which I thought came out very beautiful. I already got a like on it. I like that prompt. It seemed a little bit darker than some of the other ones, a little more somber, so I kind of drew from that.
Support the poet.
Yeah, look good.
Yep.
Sweet. All right. Oh, I guess that leaves me then. All right, yeah. Well, first off, I want to shout out a drink with Crazy. He is the #1 IronAge YouTuber. Want to know why? Check it out on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Number
Also-
one Iron
Number
Age
one
booty
Iron
daddy.
Age daddy. Yeah.
Booty daddy.
The
Booty
Booty Daddy. Yeah.
It feels
And-
weird for me to say it, so I'll let you guys say it.
It's out of my taste range.
Iron Age booty daddy.
Oh, it feels weird for us too, but we're just weird, so that's normal.
Yeah, but face it, girl calling a random guy daddy doesn't sound right.
No, but it's
Quit
funny.
being a square, Maji.
But if it's a pony, Iron Age booty pony.
Yes, honey.
It almost sounds worse.
There you go.
All right.
Stallion. Oh shit.
Enough with the booty ponies. Go for potatoes and potato guns. Arm-mounted potato guns used to fight off aliens. Check out Haley Starr, Bad Kitty. My too loud. You know, one of these weekends I'm actually going to get this right.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, but not this weekend apparently. So, or not weekend, weekday.
Boomburger.
But yeah. All right. If you enjoyed this presentation, hit the like, and if you didn't, I appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time, and God bless.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Woo!
See ya.
The Weekly Linkage was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. We do not support or condone anything we just said.
Just kidding.
Contact your local therapist.
I feel bad for that audience.
Jewish space lasers.
Perfect.
Perfect